So if you'll indulge me, I just want to complain a bit about fashion designer Alexander Wang's big comeback. If you weren't aware, Alexander Wang was on a nice little vacation from the fashion industry, and he just staged his big return to clothing with a blockbuster show in Los Angeles. Why was he on a fashion vacation though? I mean, it's okay, I forgive you if you forgot, because it seems like the elites in the space forgot too. Well, he was taking a time out because he's a racist, sexual abuser, sexual harasser, and all-around terrible person. Given all that, let's talk about why Alex's return is so darn disappointing. Yo, before we get too much further, subscribe to the channel. I make tons of luxury and streetwear content, and also, if you're looking for deals on luxury and streetwear, check the description. I've got some of the best sites with all authentic stuff. Check it out. Yesterday, Wang set up a blowout of a fashion show in LA's Chinatown district. He showed a series of 2000s inspired pieces, kind of like a knockoff Miu Miu or maybe even like GCDS. But I can live with lackluster clothes. If that's all it was, I wouldn't even be talking about it right now. No, my issue is that Alexander Wang is a predator. Almost 2 years ago, he was outed by multiple victims as... well, where do I even start? He would grope people, pressure them into doing things they didn't want to do, drug them, assault them, even rape them. The accounts were all eerily consistent in their patterns. Like, it's clear he wasn't just an enfant terrible party boy, as many of his defenders tried to say. This is a guy who gets off on taking advantage of people. He's a Me Too poster boy, one of those people who gets a trickle of allegations against them that turn into a pour until the world can't help but say, okay, this guy actually really is messed up. Just look up here. I'll put a link. It's got all the info. I went into it all. So, he went away. Alexander Wang went away. He did what any scandalous celebrity does, and he laid low for a while. But we all knew that this day was going to come. A predator like that is almost certainly a narcissist or sociopath as well. They need power and validation. He was famous as a fashion designer, so it was almost guaranteed he would come back at some point. And while that's not okay, short of locking him up, there's not much we can do to stop it. Although a cell is certainly where he actually deserves to be. The thing that should have been stopped but somehow wasn't was the support he got when he popped his head back out for air. It all started a few months back when the actress Lucy Liu appeared in a new advertising campaign for Wang's brand. People shared their general disappointment in that, and it truly is a disappointment. But what we didn't realize at the time was that this was kind of the blueprint for Alex's big comeback that you see today. You see, Alexander Wang is an Asian American, and so is Lucy Liu. And those of you who have been paying close attention here may recall that this new fashion show he just did happened in Chinatown. That's no coincidence, and it doesn't stop there, not by a long shot. At the show, Alexander Wang had local chefs making food, so the guests were all drinking boba and eating dim sum. Alex was selling merch at the show because of course he was, and guess what? The proceeds would go towards the maintenance of Chinatown Central Plaza. He made sure he had AAPI models like Suju Park walk the runway show, and he stuffed his front row with ethnically consistent celebrity supporters such as Peggy Go, Kimora Lee Simmons, and CL. And this is where we get to the real issue. All that stuff I just said, it's all a shield. It's all meticulously crafted to deflect criticism of Wang's disgusting actions, and it makes it really hard and uncomfortable for people like me to talk about. I'm a white dude. You think I want to be standing here crapping on an Asian American designer, raising money for a local AAPI district, and supporting Asian creatives? Of course not. And Alex, or maybe his PR team, are well aware of that as well. They know I don't really want to be talking about this and that it's pretty uncomfortable. They know that they can make journalists and influencers feel just uncomfortable enough about it that they won't bother criticizing it. And the people who do criticize it, well, now it's easy to label them as insensitive or anti-Asian. See, it's a shield. Normally, when people yell about virtue signaling or identity politics, That's a good sign that you can probably ignore that person now. But this right here, what Wang is doing is an actual example of that. He's virtue signaling. He's saying, hey, look over here. Look at all the great things I'm doing for this community. See, I'm actually a really great guy. I didn't do all those things they said about me, and here's the proof. You can see how awesome I really am now. And identity politics? I mean, I don't really even know what else to call it. He's doing his best to close ranks around him and use his heritage, his membership in this minority group to ward off criticism. It's all extremely intentional. Look, it's not like he's exactly been subtle here. He's basically yelling his identity from the rooftops and hoping it's enough to give him a pass. It's a pattern. It's something that powerful serial abusers do, the same way Bill Cosby gave so much to charity. It's all a tactic. And the worst part, it looks like it's working. Supposedly his sales in China are booming and he's hoping to replicate that success back here in the States. It started with Lucy Liu, and then he also dressed Rihanna and Julia Fox. On top of the names I've already mentioned, he had Candace Swainpole, Adriana Lima, and Alessandra Ambrosio walk in his show. None of these people need the money. Even Kim Kardashian posted photos from the show online, and you know Kardashians don't post anything unless they're getting paid. All of those celebs and influencers could all tell him to F off, but they didn't, and that really, really sucks. I don't really know where to go from here. Just if you're not aware of the terrible things Alexander Wang did, look into them. Understand why this guy needs to be as far away from a position of power as possible, and then tell other people about it. And please, for the love of God, don't buy his clothes and support him financially. Just don't let the world forget about his actions. All right, I guess that's it. I'll talk to y'all later.